Welcome in, everyone. Hope you're all doing okay. So we have some breaking news. As you're probably told by the thumbnail and what's been going on in EVE, it is one of the biggest news articles, items, situations that's happened in a very, very long time. Now, if you are not familiar with what's going on in nullsec politics, there is a group called Pandemic Family, which is a coalition of a group of alliances that live in the drone lands, and they've lived there for a long time, and they've been settled there, make a lot of money there, send PvP fleets. That is their home, and their leader of the coalition, essentially Gobbins, well, he's the leader of Horde, Pandemic Horde, apologies. He decided that enough is enough, and he pulled the plug on being in that coalition. Let me just get up. So, as you can see on the map here on the screen, Panda Fam are on the right-hand side here. That's Pandemic Family. We've got Imperium down here. Winter Coalition, which is Fraternity and Friends. Then you got Initiative over here. Pandemic Family, we're in this very tight cluster of space over here. And it is, defensively, it's a very good area of space to live in. And basically, the long and short of it is, we moved our borders to be on their doorstep so we could keep applying pressure, we could keep hitting them, keep fighting them for the forever war that was announced months ago. And essentially what Gobbins has turned around and said, which we are going to look at right now, is they're going to do something a little bit radical. Radical is an understatement here. We're going to do something radical, and Pandemic Horde is leaving the Panda Fam coalition completely. They're basically, the long and short of this is, I know I've said that a couple times now, but the long and short of this whole spiel here is Pandemic Horde don't want to be in a coalition anymore. They want to be like in it, which is better for the game, where you literally hit everyone and anyone that's in space. They don't want to have any blues. They want to be self-sufficient as an alliance, and as an alliance, they are big enough to hit out and, you know, compete with some of the bigger groups that are out there. Which, if I mean, on paper, it sounds right. It sounds good. They're nearly a 50,000 man alliance. What is going to happen in this move, though, because they are now moving out of drone lands. Gobbins has decided that Pandemic Horde no longer are going to live in drone lands and move from out of there, picking everything up as much as they can, moving all supers, titans. Pandemic Horde are leaving drone lands for good. They're not coming back. They are moving over to what looks like Venal with the help of the Initiative, because the Initiative are on a similar wavelength to them as not being a part of a big coalition, punching out at everyone. No matter where you go in space, you've got people to shoot, which is admirable. Honestly, it is admirable. It's good for the game. And, you know, the sprawl that's big groups like ours, the Imperium, Fraternity, it's not sustainable for the game if you keep expanding. There has to be some limitations to the to a coalition expanding, and you know, fair enough. I understand that their idea, and you know, I take my hat off to them. It's a good move. I just don't think the way that they've gone about it is the best way to do it. Now we are going to dive into that now. So, he basically, Gobbins basically blames it on the fact that Dronelands War's been under attack by the Imperium for months now. They've moved back, they moved their staging back, then they moved it back again, and then they finally moved it back to Artac AG, which is in the background on here now. We will come back to that in a second. And they moved here about a week ago, a week and a half, might have been 2 weeks ago now. They announced their move backwards, deep into their space. So they have umbrella coverage for their people that want to rat and mine further away from the borders where we are attacking, which means safer for their members, safer for their guys, and so on. And you know, on paper, that sounds a really good idea, really solid strategic plan. But what they didn't announce is during that, they knew full well that they were going to be pulling out of Dronelands. They knew they were pulling everything out. They just didn't tell their allies. So none of their allies in the coalition, so that's Northern Coalition, Slice Pirates, Slice, Hold My Probes, none of those guys were aware. And so this ping was as much as a surprise to us as it was to them. And they are essentially pulling everything out and leaving their old allies to fend for themselves in drone lands, which, with a massive coalition above, Fraternity, a massive coalition below, us, they're leaving them out to dry, to hang, sorry, which, you know, it's not up to Horde now to look after them, to, you know, defend them anymore. Fair enough. So these guys are going to have to defend themselves, which, you know, it's not sat well with all those members. It's not sat well with all the other alliances. It's not really sat well with them, and there's been a lot of upheaval on Reddit about it. So if you want to check it out, I would go and have a look at Reddit. I mean, obviously take Reddit with a pinch of salt, because there are a lot of there's a lot of misinformation on Reddit. Would you believe it? There's propaganda. There's all sorts. There's, you know, people justifying not telling their allies and pulling the rug out, and, you know, there's a lot of justifying it. But on the whole, this is it. This is actually a good move for the game, and I don't care what side you're on. This is a good move. More independent, big groups like this is good for the game. Now, they are going temporary blue with initiative to help them secure some space, so they can get on the feet, and then once that time period is gone, that will then slide. That will elapse, and they will then become neutral. So I'm just going to bring something up that was sent out by Darkshines, basically a TLDR of what is coming. And basically it says, It basically says a ping just sent out of Panic Horde informing their members that we'll be leaving Pan-Fam Coalition, leaving Dronelands, are undergoing both a leadership change and a change in alliance direction. Oh yeah, also Gobbins is finally stepping down after 10 years. He's leaving leadership, he's stepping down, I mean, to be fair, he's probably had enough of being you know, held accountable for everything. Basically, Pandemic Horde reached out to discuss the options that might be on the table. They're looking to change things up and get away from coalitions, and obviously, Darkshines won't go into specifics on the discussions because that's between them. As of now, PanFam as a major power is no more, leaving only Winterco and Imperium as the remaining mega powers. So basically, Initiative are helping them secure a new home. Once they're set in and they're settled in, they're secure in their own area, then the reset will happen again, and then Initiative and Horde can go back to shooting each other. So I actually applaud Darkshines for doing this, because he didn't have to help them, but for the better of the game, he's helping them move their stuff to a new secure location, which is, I think, is Venal to start with. I think it's Venal. It was mentioned in... Is it that one or that one? This one. It was mentioned in this one, I believe. Yeah, Thursday, 17:30 Eve time online, I'll keep starring Venal. So they are going to Venal. You know what? Darkshines didn't have to help them, but for the better of the game, he is, because he wants another independent group. He likes independent groups. He wants more independent groups out there, which this is certainly going to do it. And essentially, in the wider theme of the game, it's a good thing. I just feel for the line members of their allies that didn't know, that are now have all their assets being camped in by the Imperium, because the Imperium haven't taken this nicely, because we moved closer to get more fights, to get fights out of Horde. We moved closer to get fights out of them. So, you know, there'll be more people to shoot, more fleets going out, which there has been. There's been a lot of PvP going back and forth across the borders, which is obviously good, you know. But as you can see, what we've done is we have now put a hell camp on their Keepstar. So we are starting to bubble wrap their Keepstar by the looks of it, which this is allowed because they used this tactic against us when they all came attacked us. I think it was World War B2 it's called. They bubble wrap their Keepstar to online it, so we are doing that to them by the looks of it. It's absolutely fine. It's completely acceptable. They had permission from CCP to do it, so if they can do it, anyone in the game can do it. And there's also these orange ones that are heavy interdictors. So what we are doing, by the looks of it, is making it as hard as possible and as difficult as possible for Horde to extract their assets. Their Keepstar has been reinforced. Their staging Keepstar has been reinforced. Shields last night. 14 hours from now, the armor will go. If if this hell camp holds up, which, let's be honest, if anyone can hold a hell camp, it's goons. People think like we would just get bored of doing this sort of stuff, but for some reason we don't. And stuff like this will stay. Obviously, you can see some capitals are still getting out because there are where bubbles overlap, you don't get full coverage of it, and you know there's the little spots where you might get be able to get through, which is happening as you can see. So as these capitals slowly find their ways out of here and they find the way to get out of the bubbles, some people are going to get out of here essentially. But this is their staging Keepstar, which has their capital fleet. There's most of their, I don't know about most anymore because I don't know how many have moved, but it has a lot of their supers and titans out. I mean, I think that titan's just about to get out here. And this, so what's happened, I was going to release the video last night, but I knew full well overnight things would change. Now, what this means for the renters, people who rented from Pandemic Horde, their allies like Slice, Hold My Probes, Slice Pirates and stuff like that, what that means for them is once this Keepstar is down, they have to find a way to either get all the stuff out because they've been told to asset safety everything that's not a capital, basically. Been told that close to shutdown. So they've been told to asset safety everything that's not a capital ship, and move it, or try and move it if you can. But if not, it's no biggie. But since last night, Slice Pirates, Slice, two separate groups, have been set temporary blue while this whole transition phase goes on. That is, the Diplos have done that. I believe the Renters are all being set temporary blue. I don't know about Northern Coalition. Let's have a look at Northern Coalition, actually. See if we can find them before the server goes down. Northern Coalition. Nope, they're still orange. Okay, so Northern Coalition and Horde are still orange. Slice are temporary blue, and that's, I believe that is so we don't just go, because we are going to glass all of Drone Lands. All their structures that they're trying to unanchor are going to be completely wiped out. There's going to be nothing of Hordes left standing. Obviously, some structures will be taken out and gotten out because we can't get everything, but there's going to be a huge glassing of Drone Lands, and the groups that are staying here, we don't want to burn their stuff, so we're setting them temporary blue so fleets don't go out and nuke their stuff. So anything that's not temporary blue will get absolutely destroyed. And since last night, obviously the Keepstar's been reinforced. There's a Fortizar there that's been reinforced. There's also a Keepstar that's anchoring. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. But Alliance History, who were they? Oh, they were in Pandemic Horde. They were in Pandemic Horde and they left. So now they are anchoring there. So these guys are staying here and they are anchoring their own Keepstar, which is cool. But I don't know who's going to move in. I don't know who's going to take over the space. I'd like to think that once we've glassed all of Horde stuff, I believe we will then just pull back. We'll probably take a couple systems so we've got a good let's have a look on the map, sorry. I would like to think we will take, a couple. I mean, we could get from here to Geminate and straight into Geminate here and then up to here, but they are moving up here. So they're probably going from there to there, straight across to Venal. MTO Keepstar, yeah, that's where they're going to. And then later today, they're going to be jumping across the regional. They'll have to jump across the regional. And which, again, I believe that's going to be a bloodbath. And if they can get everything out of here. But I would like to think we'll probably end up taking a couple systems just to be conservative of having jump bridge networks to get across here. Even though we do have cash and we can, get across pretty easily. But I feel bad for all the allies that didn't know and they just got the rug pulled from underneath them. Gobbins is leaving. I don't even know if Gobbins is going to play Eve anymore. But on the his legacy leaving Horde is going to be leaving Horde in a much weaker position than it was when he took over. He built it up to a huge alliance. It's still a big alliance. I wonder how many people are going to leave. So by next week's news report on Monday, it'll be interesting to see how many people have left Horde to go to alliances that are staying in this area that don't want to leave. I have seen a Reddit post about Pro God Legend has said he wants to take over Pandemic Horde when Gobbins steps down. But this hell camp is going to be going on for days. There's constantly fleets here. We've got two fleets and then ults all kicking around. So this hell camp is going to be going on for a while. But guys, I didn't want to rush a video out because there's so much more information piling in every day, as you can imagine. And I've had some people that rents from Horde reaching out asking what's possibly going to happen to them, and the only thing I could direct you to do is speak to a Imperium Diplo and see if you're not aligned with Horde and you're not following Horde, if you can get temporary blue and keep your space, because temporary blue will stop your stuff getting glassed. But this is I see what they're doing. I just don't think it was probably the best way to do it, but I do understand the secrecy that was involved in doing this, because you can't do something like this in an open discussion. But I think there should have been at least talks with the other alliance leaders, and I feel bad for them. But guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know your comments. Oh, by the way, if you have got to this point of the video, first of all, you're an absolute legend. Second of all, I made Eve partner. Finally got Eve partner. So from now on, we're going to be doing giveaways on most videos for skins and stuff like that that I'll be getting from CCP. So huge thank you to you guys watching. Huge thank you to you guys that subbed and watched to the end. Also, like on the videos would be appreciated. Also, comments. I'll always get back to you on the comments, and I really do appreciate your points of view on things, even if you're correcting me if I'm wrong. But thank you guys, take care, and I'll see you on Monday with the news report, because I imagine there's going to be way more unfolding since then. Take care and have a good week.